Hey you guys, I'm back with another Realm Builder development log. And I got a bunch of stuff to talk about, and I'm doing it in a different way this time, where I will be recording my voice and then putting up a slideshow of new art that I made instead of the way I've been doing it before, which is just talking to the camera casually. So collaborations is the first thing I want to talk about and how useful they have been to me. Been making a lot more art with my friend Bese. He is usually drawing the monsters, abominations or whatever, and I color them in, but we have mixed it up a few times. It's just hard to get him to want to color in. But when I have been able to get him to do that, he's done really good. I want to talk about how good collaborations have been for me and how they inspire me to make art better. I want to make the person's vision come to life, and I want them to look at how I worked on their piece and go, oh, that's pretty slamming. Wow, you did good. That makes me happy, and it kind of compels me to want to do better so that they can enjoy it and they can enjoy art more even. The other collabs, okay, I got some other things to talk about, because once I found out how good that was, I started actively asking other friends if they would like to collaborate with me. So I got Amir. He's my friend that I've known for a long time now. I used to run into him at parties, and we would talk. It's nice to find someone else who likes to have deep one-on-one conversations at a party. He's very smart in math and physics, and he's learning programming too, so I wanted to do a team up with him. And we've gotten together a little bit to work, but we haven't gotten together again since, so hopefully we can make some programs. And I was thinking it'd be cool if maybe he works on like a physics engine, or he comes up with something and I do the art assets, or the more the gamey side, because he doesn't know as much about video games. So I feel like there's good opportunity there for like our skills to complement each other. The other collaboration I only did for a little bit was with Crystine. I'm going to include some of the images here. She has a game that she's making called Kuiper Wars, and it's a pretty cool concept. It's kind of like Twilight Imperium, where you have like the different civilizations in space. There's different resources, there's different moons, all the moons, all the different moons and factions can be against Pluto, and there's different modes where like the different players are against different players based on which faction you play as, which is interesting. There's different ships that you can build and different people you can recruit, and the people can go in the ships. So I liked the idea when I first met, like not the first time I met her, but like the first month of talking to her, she told me about this, and I was already picturing in my mind's eye like what really cool drawings would be like for it. I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to try drawing that. And she's like, I have someone that's drawing it. I haven't talked to them in a long time, but they're still going to do it. So I was like, okay. And then like a year later, I was bringing it up again, and I was like, why don't we collaborate? And she's like, okay. So I started drawing some of the stuff for her game. The communication wasn't very good. Okay, well, it's kind of personal, so I'm not going to like go into it other than that. But one of the things I want in a collaboration is for the communication to be good, and it kind of fell apart, so I haven't worked on more of that. So we're gonna just try and move on maybe. But if you'd like to, or if she would like to, then I'm open to trying more. But for now, I'm just going to keep looking for other people who want to work with me. And one of the things I found is that you can demand for the communication to be better, or you can demand certain things. This is something people who are not assertive enough or don't stand up for themselves enough, they don't understand that you can demand things in a friendship. You can put up very clear boundaries. And I think it's healthy to be able to demand things from friendship. Anyways, moving on to programming, the next part of the thing to talk about. C Sharp, Unity. Unity is a development environment for C Sharp. I have been looking at how to make my card game into a video game for a while now on here. When I first started learning C and C++, I was really building everything from scratch, really making the cards from the ground up, making the ideas for the game from the ground up. But the more I learn, the more I figure it's like just find out what can be done in the environment and then copy it and then kind of change it from there. I have this person who's kind of like a mentor who's helping me and telling me about C, and he explained some things about object-oriented programming, so that was good to have like a person go over it again with me as opposed to just reading it from a textbook. And he said, when I told him my problem, to find out what is possible in the environment by looking at examples of what people did for card games in Unity. I was like, oh, that's so simple, it's so obvious, why didn't I just do that? I was already looking at games like Inscription and being like, oh, that's cool, I wanted to do something like the overworld part where you go around, kind of like in the original Pokemon trading card games on the Game Boy, where instead of battling Pokemon, you battle other players in a card game, or the overworld in Super Mario Brothers, the later ones where you can move around in the overworld and select the different maps to go on, something like that. So yeah, I've been getting better at that, slowly learning by copying now from YouTube videos instead of trying to build from the ground up, because that was way too hard, and I'm just a noob programmer that's like trying to come over here from like writing and art. The next thing, sampling by taking recordings of music. My friend who is good at music was saying, oh man, it's all about the next good sample. And I was kind of sitting back being like, really? Like, is sampling that good? And I was like thinking, if I said something like that, people would be like, yeah, okay, Dan. But he was really good at music. So when he said that, I kind of like took it as a hint that he might be onto something with sampling. So ever since then, I have been sampling more. I have a good microphone on my computer, and even when I'm out and I hear something that sounds really interesting, I have a voice record app on my phone, and then I throw it into Audacity, and then there's all different kinds of cool things you can do in Audacity, like change the pitch down, you can change the frequencies, you can add bass, you can add distortion. If there's like too much noise and it's making like noise, you can compress it to fix the audio a bit. So one of the things I'd like to do is super slow, make it like super slow, change the pitch, change the there's different frequencies, like people talk about 432 frequency and like how that's significant. You can look up videos on like the different frequencies and what their alleged meanings are, or what they're supposed to do. So that's something that I like to check out as well. Which this brings us to the next part. There's not much more to say about sampling other than that I made some audio kind of abominations by like stitching the samples together. Data bending though. I have taken images and put them as raw data into Audacity to convert them into sound. Usually it's just like a janky white noise or like so. But what you can do is you can put an effect on that sound and then export it back, and then it'll change the image visually. But I haven't been able to get that changed image to work, but I have gotten some data bending to work in other ways that, like, not in Audacity. I have saved the sounds that came from images a bunch, some of the ones that weren't just like really annoying white noise, and I tried to like add them to songs or like add them as like kind of like a background, atmospheric sounds in the background of a song. Limited success, but it is a very interesting topic. You can see some of the images that I'm going to include in here of a crystal that I'm holding. The color in like large horizontal strips of the image has been changed, and that's from changing the image data. All right. I think that's about it for this video.